Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my November TBR. It's been a little while since I filmed. I've had lots of things like disrupt the regular programming here, but here we are. I've had quite a rough October. I've been ill. I've been continuously ill through October. It's like get over one bug and another one comes along to strike me down. But I'm hoping that that's me done now and I can leave all of that bad energy in October. I don't know which energy, spirits, witches I upset in October, but I upset them, it seems, because they just wanted me to be in bed. And not in the bed in a good way of being able to read loads of things, in bed sleeping. I'm hoping that I am now on the road to recovery and we're not going to have any more bed days and I can have a normal November. That's what we're going for. Normal November. Just that's all we need. Normal November. Because I know December is going to be exceptionally busy with work. Quite a few travel plans in December. So no, normal November. That's the energy I'm channeling. Just normal. Normal. With that, I do have some reading plans and some books that I would really like to read over the next month. So we will just dive in. I am currently reading the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. I've already reread the first two books and I'm currently working my way through Skyward Flight, which is a collection of the novellas. So the first two novellas you read before Cytonic and then the third novella you read after Cytonic. So I've currently just finished, as I'm filming this on the 29th of October, the first novella, and then I expect I'll read the second novella before the end of October, potentially. We shall see. I might get distracted by another book that's arriving in the post today, but potentially I can go into the second novella here. But definitely that third novella will need to be read in November. So some of Skyward Flight will have been read in October and some of it will be read in November, which leads nicely on to Cytonic, which I will definitely be reading in November after I finished that second short story or novella. So I will be continuing on in this series through the course of November. I think my anticipation will be that I would read this gradually in November, interspersed between other things. I would get through all of this with the anticipation of reading To Find in December. That is the plan for this series. Making good progress here. I feel like I raced through that novella. I started last night, finished it this morning. We've had daylight savings today and it's what, 10 a.m. and I've done so much. I feel so productive, so productive. Speaking of continuing on in series, my shame of the year, because it's been on every TBR since about April, is The Bone Shard War by Andrea Stewart. This is the month. I can tell. This is the month I will read The Bone Shard War. There is no way I'm not reading this one. This one is happening. I am certain of it. Don't know why I'm certain, but I am certain it's going to happen. I've got through so many finales, so many sequels over the past few months that my series number is down. I've got it, I've worked on it, I've really got it down. I've got it so down. And I don't really have that many more finales that I can read. So it's going to have to be The Bone Shard War as my finale for November because it is the one that I have to read. It is the one that I'm going to be reading. So I do just need to give myself a little refresh, read a synopsis of the first two books. I think mostly the second book. I think the first book's pretty fresh in my brain. It's the second book for whatever reason that's not as fresh. So find that, read that, get into this. I just need to get into it. And I think because it's going to be normal November, I'll be able to do it. Normal November in this book, I think will go well together. They will. I can sense it. I feel like I've explained the plot of this multiple times now, but we are set in an archipelago. We have multiple main characters. Our two main ones are Lynn, who is the Emperor's daughter, and Jovis, who is a smuggler. And the magic system in this world is very interesting. There are constructs around the world which can do menial tasks up to more high levels of government. And these constructs are fueled by bones, and each person has donated a bone shard from behind their neck. And if your bone shard is in use, then it is draining the life out of you. So quite interesting, quite dark magic system. Lots of uprisings and upheaval within the world, and just really interesting. So I would really like to see how it ends. I just haven't done it yet, but I will by the end of the year. Another sequel I would really like to get to before the end of the year is Blood Sanctuary Part 1. I did start this in June and I didn't get very far because I just wasn't in the mood and I haven't got back to it, and I need to get back to this one and get back into this series. I think this could happen. I feel like I've got a different blend of things in this TBR, and this would work. I think it will. This is a fantasy romance story. It's quite a slow build, very political. We're following main characters Leo and Cassia. Leo's from a more vampiric-like force, but everything they do is for the good of their people. They seem like better than the humans in this world, whereas Cassia is the bastard daughter of the king, who is quite cruel, and it is those two people meeting at a summit when their peoples meet and them collaborating together and the friendship and romance that bonds between them. So this is the third book in the series, and I just need to get back into it because I loved the first book. I really loved the first book. The second book was a bit lower down. Like, I feel as though it peaked in the middle and then the pacing went a bit funny. So I feel like that's it that's deterred me a little bit with getting into this one, is that pacing at the end of the second one. And I just feel like this series needs to build again now, that I need some fast-paced action instead of just the politics. So I really hope that this third book does well. I really do. I do. As for a couple of books that I don't own, which would also continue in series, I have ordered, and I think it is due for delivery today, Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, which is the final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So I'm really excited to read this one. I just feel very excited to read it. So I don't know if I pick that one up today, potentially. I don't think I'd finish it in October, even if I did pick it up today, because I'd only have today, Monday, Tuesday. I don't feel like it's likely. Or I continue and read the second Skyward novella. I don't know. Future me will figure that out this afternoon after I've had some lunch. And you will see in my wrap up next week which path I went down. But either I pick up A Curse for True Love now, or I wait until November. But either way, it's going to be read very, very shortly. This is like a fantasy, I don't know if it's YA, new adult. I really like her writing style. I find it very compulsively readable. It's sort of fairy tale-esque, and we're following a main character, Evangeline, who goes to a different like kingdom within this fantasy world, and it is her journey there and the characters she meets along the way and her getting entangled up with the fates in this world. So really looking forward to seeing how it all wraps up. The second book definitely ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. I probably need to give myself a little like reread of the final 2 chapters in that and then dive into this third book, I think. But yeah, really excited because I just find those books so compulsive, so compulsively readable. So I do have that series to wrap up as well, which I'm excited about. And then another book that I don't own because it's not out yet, is a potential for me to read in November, is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I feel like this is going to be like the book of the month, potentially, for a lot of people. Like, it's going to be like taking over the month, I feel. I don't think it would take over my month because I am excited for it, but I don't feel like I'm super excited for it. I think I'll have fun reading it, but I won't be racing to the bookshop to get it at midnight on publication day, because I do like a midnight release for it, and I just find that I don't feel like my level of excitement is there. Like, I remember doing the midnight releases for like Harry Potter when I was little, but I don't feel like Fourth Wing is as big as that. But maybe it is. Maybe I just haven't like got that energy. But anyway, I expect I will be picking it up and hopefully enjoying it along with everyone else. This seems to have taken the book world by storm this year. So I guess, yeah, I would like to see, I would really hope that it continues and sticks the landing and that I enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Fourth Wing. I gave Fourth Wing for like 4 stars in perspective. So hopefully it's another 4-star book. I do sometimes find that with fantasy romance, I can lose interest as the series goes on, because if everything's really happy, fine and dandy with the romantic pairing, I'm like, where's the tension? Where's the angst? I don't like it. I don't like it. So I want to see how Rebecca Yarros manages to maintain my interest and the angst. So a couple of other things. As we're moving into the colder months of the year, I would like to get to Upon a Frosted Star by M.A. Kuznia. I read and really loved Midnight in Everwood a couple of years ago, and I would really like to get to this, and I feel like this is cold. Like, it's cold months of the year. I don't really read seasonally, but this gives off cold. It is Swan Lake meets Great Gatsby retelling. The invitations always arrive the same way, without warning, appearing around the city on the first snowfall of the year, simply inscribed with tonight. And then our main character has always wanted to go to this evening, and he wants to be swept up into the glamour of it all, and he's determined to find out more about the host. And he discovers this abandoned manor silent with secrets and a cursed woman who is desperate to be free. So I'm really excited to get into this. I feel like I raced through and was so compelled to read Midnight in Everwood. That was one of those books where I was like, I'm 60% of the way through, and then suddenly I was 90%, and I hardly even realised that I was reading. Like, I forgot that they were words because I was so just transported into that world. And I really would hope that I get the same experience again with this one, and that I can feel so transported. And it's just such a pretty book, like pretty edges. I don't think it has anything, it doesn't have anything on the cover, but the like end pages go round into that spine, which is just, I couldn't resist this when I saw it in the shop. I was like, you have to come home with me right now. And then my final like potential, I think, is the final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi, which I realised I put on like a TBR a year ago, and I still have not read it. So I feel as though I should probably read it now. The second book's already out. The third book comes out mid next year, potentially. I could like pace myself in preparation for that third book coming out. And I feel as though I've seen Sarah at quite a few events, well, like 2 events, and I still haven't read her book. And every time I've like spoken to her and I'm like, I really like your personality. Like, she's really funny, she's really engaging to talk to. And I'm like, I still haven't read your book. And I feel this like sense of, I have still not read your book. Shame on me, shame on me. I would really like to read this. I think I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I do intend to go to Yalk in November, just for like a day, and I think she's going to be there on one of the days. So if I go to Yalk, I would really hope that potentially I could read this beforehand, and then I could actually meet her and go, oh, I've actually read your book now, instead of this like awkward moment of, hi, I think you're really cool, but I've not read your book, which I'm currently in. She's one of those people that I feel as though I would want to be friends with. So there's a selection of some books that I would like to read. Hopefully I get to them all. Hopefully I get to all of these. I feel like it's relatively achievable. I feel like I'm picking books that are achievable for my TBR, and that are like accomplishing a lot of my goals by like finishing off my series, reading books that have been on my TBR for a little while, and reading things that are exciting to me that I really want to read. So hopefully it is all possible. Obviously there are plenty more books on the TBR that could get picked. I think in October I did read a few books from my October TBR, but I was also playing Spookopoly, and that went a bit rogue, and it put lots of random books on to my TBR but it made me read lots of random books. I didn't stick wholly to the TBR that I set for myself in October, but I feel like this is going to happen, and I want to make sure that I get these done in November, because December I know is going to be chaotic, and I don't feel like I'm going to read very much in December due to all my plans, and I need to accomplish everything this month. Maybe I'll get to The Blackest Heart as well, which I didn't get to this month either, but maybe I could do my reread of that, but I just haven't been in the mood, so I haven't wanted to force it. I mean, I know I'll enjoy it when I get back to that reread, but that I have not been in the mood for the longest of long books, or the grimmest of dark, grim fantasy books. I've just it's not been happening. It's not been happening. I think this whole year I haven't been in that mood, and I don't know where that mood is, but it's not right now. It's not here. It's missing. I'm sure it will come back at some point, but I've lost it, okay? It's lost, it's gone, it's on hiatus. We shall see exactly what I get to. Let me know what your reading plans are in November. If you're planning to attend Yalk, then let me know as well, and maybe we can like say hi. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!